All right, so here is another example of converting from standard form into vertex form. So again, I've written up here the vertex form of a parabola. I should have done y equals. So the first step, again, we are going to group the x terms, but I'm going to take out that GCF or that a value. So I'm going to change this a value into a coefficient out in front. So if I divide by -4, I want to take the whole thing out. So I'm going to have -4 out in front, and then I'm going to have x squared. -24 divided by -4 is going to be plus 6x. And then I'm just going to, again, leave a little blank, bunch of space, and this 46 goes off on the end, plus 46. Kind of just travels along for the ride. All right, so I can already see that my a value is going to be -4. I'm looking to complete the square for what makes x squared minus 6 or plus 6x into something that I can write as x minus h squared. So in order to complete the square, I look at this 6x term, divide by 2, and I get equals 3. And if I square that, I end up with plus 9. And again, if I add 9, I also want to subtract 9. I'm always going to have the addition. This is what I'm adding in the end so that technically I don't change this equation at all. I'm just adding 9 and subtracting 9. So technically those simple out to 0. However, this here is my perfect square trinomial. And that can be rewritten as x plus 3 squared. Keep in mind I'm getting that plus 3 because 6x divided by 2 gives me that positive 3. 3 squared goes into 9. So now I have -4 times, this is x plus 3 squared, and then I've got the -9 also in those parentheses. And then I've got plus 46, again, just kind of traveling off on the end. Never gets touched until the very, very end. So now what I want to do is I want to distribute this -4. Remember, this is a term, x plus 3 squared, and then I've got -9 as my other term. So I end up having -4 times x plus 3 squared. And then -4 times -9 gives me positive 36. And I've got plus 46 traveling off on the end again. So in the final phase, I'm just going to combine these two. That'll give me 70, 82. So I've got -4 times x plus 3 squared plus 82. So here is my final vertex form. So now just to extend on this a little bit, if you think back to our first activity with graphing in vertex form, you can remember that these values here give you your vertex. So my vertex here is not going to be positive 3. Remember, since that's x minus h, the inside is opposite. So it's going to be -3, 82. This -4 means that this will open downward. A negative a value means it'll open down. So I know that this point here, -3, 82, would be a maximum. So out of this, I can get a lot of information just by switching it into vertex form. So I started in standard form, took out the -4 or the a value from the first two terms, left a lot of space, had my c value just traveling on along for the ride. Complete the square here. If I add something, I'm also subtracting it. Rewrite as my perfect square trinomial. So I have x plus 3 squared. Distribute. So I know that this is not actually just minus 9. It's actually plus 36 because of this negative 4. And in the final step, I combine those two and I have my vertex form. I know my a value. I know it opens down because the a value is negative. And I know that this point, negative 3, 82 is a maximum because the a value is negative.